Welcome back to the Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Watkins, and if you love college football, you are definitely in the right place. So before you forget, smash that red subscriber button, like our videos, and don't forget to ring the bell. Boy, I went the wrong way on that light. So you don't miss one moment of the Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Glad everybody's in here tonight. I'm seeing 6 of you already in the queue, so liking that, I appreciate it. Do go ahead and hit that subscriber button if you haven't already done so. We are going to talk. Oh, there's quite a bit of stuff to talk about tonight. We're going to do a little bit of recruiting talk, obviously. Um, talk a little bit about the possibility of a former Oklahoma player that left for the transfer portal last year coming back, a wide receiver coach that wasn't, and Baker Mayfield being picked up by the Los Angeles Rams. I'm sure everybody has an opinion about that. Not to mention a little bit of Coach Prime news. We're going to have to talk a little bit of Coach Prime. I know everybody wants to. Kind of, you can definitely see that there's some things going on that it's definitely scaring some people around the country, I would say. And, you know, I understand that. He's definitely a threat when it comes to his ability to recruit and bring in people that are with NFL connections, things like that, on a different level than a lot of people can. I know that the Pac-12 coaches are probably not excited about this for sure, but jump in the comment section. Let us know what you think. If you'd like to help out the show, there is a tip function, I believe, on there now for the super chat, things like that. If you like to, go ahead and do that, if you will. I'm going to get to as many comments as I can anyway, but I really wanted to kind of jump into some of that first, and we'll just kind of talk. We'll kind of let this thing kind of go whichever way it goes. Well, I guess first thing to kind of talk about would be obviously this transfer portal has taken on a life of its own. You're having some players that you didn't really expect to go in, I guess, at this point of it. That said, I think we kind of had to expect that there was going to be quite a bit. Um, when you go 6-6, when you have a whole new system, um, you're going to have. I mean, first off, you kind of need to change things around a little bit. I saw there's been and obviously I feel like my audience is really smart. You guys get it that it's, obviously it was clear that this is a rebuilding year. It was going to take some time for them to get it going the way they want to in Norman. I feel like they're headed in the right direction. If they can make this recruiting class come together, even if they just get one of those flips done, I feel like you're definitely going to be top 5, maybe even top 3. If they were to get Peyton Bowens to come, um, that's a home run hit. It really is. If they were able to do that plus Hicks, if they get Hicks, then uh, they get the other kid from the same school. Is that going to happen? We're going to find out. But I feel like you had to kind of expect some of this turnover, although I think, there's still obviously the doom and gloom crowd that's freaking out about every little thing that happens, whoever that goes into the portal versus whoever hasn't signed yet or whatever. That would include Rashaad Samples, who was rumored to be pretty close to taking the position of wide receiver coach a week ago, possibly also as being the recruiting coordinator as well. He has taken the same position with the Arizona State Sun Devils instead. And it's basically the same position, I believe, and there had been some other offers out there. I know he had quite a few offers that were coming in there. I am going to have I've got a guest coming that I will be bringing in here in just a second. Actually, I think he's ready to come in now. But again, as I said, I feel like with tell me what you think about the Samples thing and what's going to happen. Are they going to what's the next step for them? Who do you think is the next one to be in line for the position? I'm going to bring in another Oklahoma guy to talk about that just a little bit now. This is Robert Jager. What's up, Jager?
What up, bud?
How we doing, man?
I'm good, man. I
I lost him. Well, sometimes those technical difficulties. James, is it you that was always talking about technical difficulties, bud? Hey, if you haven't already typed in, let's see. Where is this? Oh man, all these are in here. Cool. What's up, fellas? Mason Cobb, dude, he's really good. I don't think there's any real surprising names out there transferring. Yeah, I don't think that many of them were surprised. You know what, guys? There was something weird here. I wasn't getting all these comments that I've just found. So glad you guys are here. Appreciate it, Matt. Uh, glad you're here, man. And let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna pour a whiskey. I'll be right back. Are you back now? Arizona whiteout that just got offered. What are we talking about? Yeah, Mason Cobb. Let me see if Jager, you back, bud?
yeah, man. I accidentally got out of that. I was at the I'm at the basketball court playing. Well, I was playing, but
Well, we were just talking a little bit about this transfer recruiting portal, all that stuff, or the transfer
nice.
portal, and then of course the recruiting. Obviously, it fell through on the Rashaad Samples thing. It's kind of one of those deals that we're kind of talking.
Oh, they're in there.
I hate that phrase, the transfer portal caught on because I've been calling it the Mayfield rule for years. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. Uh Hey, what are your thoughts about that though, Jager, as far as the whole everything that's been going on with all this stuff? I mean, I know a lot of people are talking Malcolm Kelly. Is that even a possibility at this point with them going to the playoff, or what are your thoughts on that?
As far as wide receiver coach or
Y-
what?
Yeah, and recruiting coordinator. I know it's something that they've been kind of trying to tie the two together. It seemed like to me, they were talking Rashad Sample, of course, because of him being such a good recruiter as well.
Well, there's definitely something going on with the wide receiver position. That's for sure.
Right.
Because that
And
talk about a downfall, man. I
what do
think
you
so.
mean by that? What do you mean by
Like
that?
just the way they played, like the urgency that they played with, and then you got Mims's drops this year. Um, Theo Weiss leaving. I mean, it's just because like before the season began, he's like, "Oh, I'm 100% OU DNA, Sooner bred," all that
Right.
mess that they all say. Um, so I mean, there had to have been something that happened. I mean, he's not going to go anywhere else to get any better production. He's going to have to learn a whole new system and everything,
Yeah, I mean,
in
and
my
it seems
opinion.
like when you already had to learn a new system this year with Levy's offense, and it's not the same as what the offense
So,
was with Lincoln. I mean, it's not the same thing. So to me, it kind of seems like a bit of a weird deal for me. But also, I know that it seemed like he also got in Jeff Levy's doghouse a little bit too. So that may
yeah,
have been. I think that at times when he felt like he should have been in instead of maybe Drake Stoops, or whatever. I mean, he was a 5-star player. They want to see him play or whatever like that. I don't feel like he's going to have a hard time finding a place to play, being that he came
no,
off of. But I don't think that he ever really necessarily lived up to his entire hype. I would guess, and I think that part of it is these guys. I think that's where I was kind of coming and going to it was that to me, some of these guys that have entered the portal, and we still have all these people that are doing the whole knee jerk reaction, freaked out about him going, or anybody that's leaving, it's a bad thing or whatever. The truth is, there's going to be guys that are part of that are going to fit into the culture that Brent Venables has, and there's guys that aren't. And those guys aren't necessarily the same when it comes to if they were guys of Lincoln's.
yeah. And along with the portal talk, it doesn't matter what school it is. Everybody, I mean, Bama just what they have like almost
Every
10 players going to the portal.
Well, we want to talk about people that have a lot of people going. They have 11 guys,
Yeah,
including Spencer Sanders, that left Oklahoma State.
yeah.
You got
That's real.
so. I mean, if we're talking about people being in trouble, you had Trace Ford leave. He's one of their top defensive players, and they're all trashing him on the way out too.
Yeah, and Presley, he's
Uh-huh.
pretty good too.
Listen, I mean, we're talking about significant contributor. I mean, their starting quarterback isn't going to come back now.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
I
I don't.
mean,
He wouldn't have really, I mean, done anything anyway, in my opinion. He just
I agree with that. And
he
listen,
can't get he
you
can't
know
get
that
it
we
done on
agree
the
with
big
each other
stage.
on Okie Light when it comes to that.
Right.
but what I'm saying is that I don't understand how you would. Ha- I mean, really? This is where we are. That there was a point of the year when they got done beating Texas. When they had beat Texas, come back from that, and Texas has given up so many freaking second half leads, and since Sark got there, that big deal. They came back and beat Texas, but you got they do that, and then all that whole next week, all they're doing is talking about how great the culture of Mike Gundy is, and yet here we go.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
what a great culture, but then now you've got all these people leaving and trashing your culture, basically. It's just a weird deal for me, man. I don't know.
It's.
That's
Do you think these some head coaches are going to have a hard time establishing a culture now that with this like hike up and transfer portal
Well,
activity
I
or
think that
whatever?
you're going to have to. I think that you have to do a better job of identifying what is your kind of player and the ones that
Right.
can deal with your culture. I don't think that you can just, you know, you can't just dump money on these kids and expect it to work out. Is what I'm getting at. Which I think we're obviously seeing that kind of
Yep.
stuff. Obviously with Texas A&M, they've had more recruits leaving. There was another one today. They've got a bunch of guys that have left. And I mean, you're talking today, they had defensive lineman Dallas Walker, 6'4", 330. I mean, this is one of those Nashville. I mean, he was offered by everybody who was good when he came out. And he's off of there. I mean, at this point, it's a mass exodus at Texas A&M. So yeah, I feel like this is a new world. It's a new world for these guys and for college football, period. Not to mention the fact that now you have Coach Prime going to a major Power Five school. He's already getting the number one recruit in the country a year ago in Travis Hunter, and he's going to go now. He'll
Yeah.
be at Colorado as well. His son Shador is unbelievably good. He had 6
Yeah.
interceptions to 36 touchdowns this season. Obviously, that's at the FCS level, but they've lost one game in 2 years. And somebody was saying on I believe it was on CBS, maybe it was ESPN, but they were talking about that it's reported that he got 200 calls from transfer portal kids on the
I
first
believe it,
day.
man. I believe it. He
Yeah,
connects well with these young kids, man. Like he's prime
yeah.
time. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
Like
he's a superstar. I mean, he's the best to ever do it at his position. He's bigger than life. And he made a big, and I mean, and listen, we've talked about this before. You remember when Colorado used to be so good when they were in the
Oh
Southwest
man.
Conference and the Big 12?
Yeah, man. I
You
remember when
know?
Cordell Stewart. Remember when Cordell Stewart was there?
Yeah. Yeah.
That was a bad man.
Man, they were not a joke. And I said it the other day, and I mean, this is a sleeping giant of a program. And if you could get guys, and he's not just a guy that talks and can bring guys in. He's getting them coached well. Look at that. I mean, he brought in today or yesterday it was announced that Kent State head coach Sean Lewis is going to be his offensive coordinator. That's a big hire. That's a guy that a lot of people have been looking at for a while. Obviously, he's got a winning record at Kent State. That's big. Um,
I mean,
yeah,
that just shows you how big time the portal can be, man. Like, uh, to do it like Lincoln Riley roster overhaul at USC. I mean,
yeah.
look what they did. I mean, I'm not a fan, but I mean, you got to give that coaching staff a little bit of credit, man.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
agree.
you know,
Well, some. I mean, I think that they did the same thing that they did in Norman. They
that's
they
the same
put
thing.
they
Same,
put a
yeah.
Heisman level quarterback on the field,
Hmm.
and they're going to live and die with him. And obviously, when you go up against a team of dogs like Utah is,
Ooh, son.
I, listen, listen. That's
Mm.
another thing that I plan to talk about here. Is that I mean, here's the thing. But see, when you start talking about Prime, he's a defensive player.
Yeah.
He understands. He's been on championship teams at every level. You know, he knows that it takes a defense. Just like Venables, it's going to, Oklahoma's going to be fine. I
Oh
truly
yeah.
believe that. And the reason is because if you look at the recruiting, and what we're going to talk some about that as well in this show, if you look at the recruiting and where they're headed, I mean, just even looking at their class right now, they're in the top 10. They're number 7 at the moment. They're still looking at Hicks, obviously Peyton Bowens, who apparently, from what I've been seeing, it looks like he's pretty close to being an Oklahoma Sooner.
Yeah.
I know he's done pre-enrollment there and some other schools, but not at Notre Dame. So it's weird that he wouldn't have already done his enrollment stuff at Notre Dame if he was still going there when he's done them everywhere else. That doesn't necessarily mean he's coming to Oklahoma, but yeah. Hey, Cord, my buddy Cord, thanks for coming to the show, bud. Yeah, look, and I agree with that. And here's the thing, Cord, he's going to get guys that were going to Bama. He's going to get, I mean, he's already doing that. He was able to pull from his own school, his own alma mater, is where he got Travis Hunter to transfer, or I mean, change his commitment from there. I mean, it now that he's at a Power 5 school, you can just see all this. He got a 5-star the very first day. 2025 5-star receiver, immediately flipped his commitment from A&M. If you're a Pac-12 coach right now, if you are a Pac-12 coach right now, you are freaking the crap out. I had put up on there, where do you think that leaves Lincoln Riley? And he is leaving, like Cord was saying, he is leaving, obviously, to the Big Ten. Obviously, they're leaving to the Big Ten in 2024, so they only got 1 year left. He's only going to get to deal with Coach Prime in his first season. Probably not going to have the team to beat him. Maybe they do. Shedeur Sanders is a player now. But where does that leave him? If you were ranking coaches in the Pac-12, and I'm asking everybody there, everybody here in the comment section, let me know, where would you rank Lincoln Riley out of the? You could even say, is he a top? I'm going to put him in the top 5. So where would you rank him out of the best 5 coaches in the Pac-12 right now? Where would you rank him, Jager?
With a QB or without a QB?
With a QB. He's got where he is right now. He's still got Caleb Williams. He can't go nowhere for a year.
He's got to be top 2 right now.
Okay.
With Whittingham being number 1.
Kyle Whittingham is definitely number 1. But I also feel like this year it didn't really test Lincoln in the fact that they didn't play Washington and they didn't play Oregon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the thing about the Pac-12. You don't know who's going to be who, and that there's the top 3 teams just beat each other all the time.
Well, and that's the other thing is you start looking at it, and really you have DeBoer, who was winning at Fresno State enough to get the job at Washington when Chris Peterson left. He's had a really good season this year. Their losses, they had the one bad loss. I think they lost to Arizona. But then of course, but they beat Oregon. Oregon State beat Oregon. Dan Lanning, he's coming from that tree, that Saban tree. Half of the coaches in the pack are soon to be 10. Yeah, I think it's going to be called the 6-pack before long, James. That's what I think.
What's that? Is Kirby Smart's the only one to actually come off that Saban tree to do anything, huh?
To win the whole thing. Yeah. Well, no, that's not true. Because actually Jimbo won that one. He won one at Florida State.
Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, he did when he had
Jameis Winston.
When he had Winston. Yeah, when he had Jameis.
Oh, I thought he was under Bobby Bowden. I didn't know he came from Saban.
Yeah, no, he coached with Bobby for the last few years of his career because he was coaching and waiting pretty much. Yeah, but he started off. He was at LSU when Saban was there also.
Oh, okay,
nice. So, yeah, he was that. But I don't think that the thing about Jimbo is that he's so in love with his own system that he hasn't. But he's never upgraded it. It seems like
that dude's just so in love with himself.
How funny was it that he fired his offensive coordinator last week? Hell, I didn't even know he had one.
All right. Well, no,
I didn't
boys,
even
I'm
know
just
that.
going down here and we'll play some football now. Come on, boys.
Yeah, dude. And one time I was watching, and everybody, forgive me for this. I was watching, and it was this year too. But I was I was watching Colin Cowherd, and he had him on. And it was just a YouTube clip of just him. But the last thing he wanted him to do was like sell me as a recruit on there.
Right.
And yeah, dude, it was total freaking car salesman. I encourage you folks to go look at that, and that tells you all you need to know about
Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher. Is go on and
Seriously.
find that clip. And talk about two ass clowns in the same room. You know.
Yeah.
So
He's like the car salesman that has like the Cadillacs, but once you start them up, they don't even move.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Just
Well,
like
and
selling
and like
such a good. It
James is
looks
saying here,
good, but
Jimbo had a program at FSU and he screwed it over by resting on his laurels. Well, I don't know if it was resting on his laurels or whatever he's doing at A&M, but he's got it all screwed up there too. And I love it that he's trying to find other people to blame this on. But you were only 8-4 every year except for that one, the COVID year. That what did they go 9-1 or whatever it was, and they were swear that they needed to be in the playoff instead of, and they probably maybe they could have been instead of OSU. I'm not a big fan of Ryan Day in Ohio State either. I think he's an underachiever. What have they done since Urban left? I mean, they got great offensive players, but I mean, look at it was very clear in that Michigan game who was the best coach in the Big Ten.
well, didn't somebody else just beat Ohio State besides Michigan? Or no, it was Michigan that
It
planted the
was
flag.
Michigan. They rolled on them. Yes, they
Yeah,
did plant the. I can't believe they did that. It's pretty awesome.
yeah, copycats.
Copycatting. But it's clear that Jim Harbaugh is the best coach in that league, without a doubt.
Oh, definitely,
And I
definitely.
mean, the year before that, I mean, it looked like he was about to. Harbaugh was trying to get the job with the Vikings. He doesn't end up getting it. It looked like it was going to be all bad. He turns around and wins back-to-back conference championships and going to the playoff.
Yeah, it took a few years to do it, but I mean that
And it
just goes
does.
to show you right there, man.
To do it right,
Yes.
because you know what? What happened? Who did he replace? He replaced the guy that's at San Diego State, right? Uh, Hoke, right?
Yeah, there's hope.
Think about
Yeah,
that. It was
Brady
that
hope.
bad that it was going to take time in order for you to be able to turn that thing around, right?
Yeah,
And I mean, it's easy for us to sit here and talk about this, especially with us Oklahoma fans. Look, it's clear that nobody's happy with 6-6. Nobody's
didn't he have
happy with
Sorry, but didn't Michigan have Rich Rodriguez before that?
Yeah, yeah. Rich
Man, that
Rod,
was
boy,
almost a
what a fall from grace from that guy, huh?
serious fall.
Real fall from grace. Well, and the same with Willie Taggart. Now he just got picked up.
Yeah, by Deion.
Hey, there's the outlaw. What's up, outlaw? What are you doing, man? Oh, see, look, Coach Enema. Now you're gonna come on here and call and bust on Coach Prime, the
Haters,
outlaw of college football.
haters,
Dang. There's a lot of those.
haters.
And listen, I know that there are a lot of people even from Jackson State that are upset with them. And I know with the outlaw, he's from that area, so I know where he's coming from on it.
They just don't like
All
the
I would
spotlight on. I guess they don't like the spotlight on him. I don't know. He knows how to entertain, and he can give the young kids
uh,
exposure. And if they can ball out at the same time, then
listen.
make it fun.
I think that you're going to find out what he really is here, because if it's one thing to do it there, it's one thing to do what he did at Jackson State, and I think that he did a good job there. But he came in, he and look to get. He brought in Willie Taggart. Obviously, he's been fired from a few jobs. That was a kind of a fall from grace. That's what I was talking about.
Right.
But he brought him out. Pretty much, it seems like he's going to be their assistant head coach, kind of helping him with dealing with the what it's like to be at a Power 5 school in a major conference. You know what I mean? He has done that twice. He didn't do well at it, but I think the other one. But for him to go ahead and pick up, the Outlaw saying, "I ain't no hater, fella. I speak the truth."
You can't speak too much truth because his name's not Enema.
Oh, you'll get. Don't be. Here we go. We're gonna have that. We're gonna have that kind of show today. Also, though, I feel like when you start looking, though, I mean, to get Sean Lewis that's a big get for him. To be offensive, he's done a really good job offensively, even with Kent State. I mean, they're not winning a ton of games in that because they're having to play a lot of those money games. But again, we're going to find out what he's about. The one thing that you've noticed is that he does bring in. I mean, he had Coach Zimmer as one of his assistant coaches, or more. I think he was more of a like a consultant, more or less. Hey, who's this? Who's politically correct? Now, Outlaw. I'm not politically correct. We've been in here busting on your boy. We could go back to talking about Lincoln because we enjoyed busting his chops. We were just asking, how would you rank?
Lincoln.
Yeah, how would you rank the Pac-12 coaches right now? From top to bottom on who's the best coaches.
Them boys ain't got no teeth left.
Who's that?
Them boys at USC, they got all of them knocked out by Utah.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Wasn't it fun
all
to watch
night long? Oh, God dang, man.
I loved it.
Dude, that was so physical.
Poor Caleb Williams took one on the chin, boy.
Oof. Yeah.
And somewhere else. Yeah, he was getting smoked all night, bro.
All night. Dude, there's a couple times where he wasn't even looking and dude just
and they hit him hard. They hit him hard. Well, and I mean, you go out there and you've got that shit on your hands where it says, fuck Utah on your hands.
Oh, no shit.
I didn't you didn't see that? He had his fingernails painted like that. Yeah, and look, man, that's one that I think Kyle Whittingham is the most underappreciated coach in the country.
Dude,
he's beaten every major coach there is. Every one of them.
He's got a nice defensive.
He got Lincoln's ass twice this year. Yeah, he got Lincoln's ass twice this year. He's beaten Saban. He's beaten everybody at Utah. Mm-hmm. He's been there, and he was there since since Urban left. He got the job after Urban left, and he's been there ever since. And all he's done is build a program with lesser recruits than what you're going to get even throughout the rest of the Pac-12.
Well, the QB from Utah, he was, I guess, Lincoln Riley. I don't know the whole story, but I guess Lincoln Riley pulled some shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Cameron Rising's like, screw you, bud.
Yeah, hey, Cameron Rising, that dude, you want to talk about a dog. That guy got smoked on that play. Did you see that play when he got hit and it knocked his helmet off?
Mm-hmm.
What does he do?
Got up.
He got his ass up. He got his ass up and freaking smiled into the camera when he did it. He didn't give a shit. I loved it, man.
Yeah, it was good, man. It's good.
Yeah. What is the truth? What are we talking about? He lied to the HBU, said he was going to lift him up and dipped out for the first job offer. Okay. What'd you say, James? It's a nice manicure for what it's. Yeah. It was turned out really nice for him, didn't it? It turned out really nice for him. Would it? Hey, Outlaw, I'll tell you what. If you want to come on the show and we can talk about that later in this week or something, let's do that. We'll have that debate. I got to tell you, I feel like he's going to end up winning there. You would have to make me believe you that he won't win there because he's going to get some of the best players in the country. He was already doing that at Jackson State. You can say whatever you want to say about what was happening there. Or what he did on leaving Jackson State or whatever, that's fine. But I feel like he's definitely going to win. I don't know.
Is Colorado going to the Big Ten too, or no?
No. And in fact, now I wonder if that wouldn't be something that they're trying to pull.
That could happen now.
Their academics are up there. They're good enough academically. They're good enough to be there. Yeah, I wonder if Caleb is still crying because he broke that nail. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, did y'all see the end of my video yesterday? I think all y'all will like that. I'm gonna have to pull it up and go to that part just so I can let everybody watch that. I think everybody liked that. Because I know not a whole lot of people watched it. It was a kind of a Coach Prime video, and I didn't see a whole lot of people have seen it. But I will pull it up. Let me pull it up on the other channel here. But yeah, no, Cameron Rising. Hey man, that guy, and yeah, I don't know exactly what all happened with Lincoln. I know he's pissed at him. And then Texas did him dirty though, too. They didn't do him right either. And then after what happened there, but he caught on, and he's just the kind of guy that Kyle Whittingham wants, you know? And he's that guy that, I mean, look at him. He just goes out and balls. And
Yeah.
Whittingham called him, he said he's an alpha dog. I was like, I would exactly describe him that way. I think that's a perfect description.
You see the quarter QB from Texas in the portal?
Hudson Card, yeah. Hudson Card.
Quinn Evers.
Quinn Ewers went to the portal?
Yeah,
No,
man.
he did not.
Swear to God, dude. I read it in the news on the
When
Google
did this happen?
Like probably like 5, maybe 4 or 5.
I was gonna say it must have barely happened then. I don't see it on 247 at all. It seems like that would be like top of the list things. Wow. I'm not seeing it. They're showing JT Daniels. They're not showing anything. Let me see. I'm gonna have to look at this. Anybody else seeing that?
There's a lot of quarterbacks in the portal right now, dude.
Oh, yeah. JT Daniels.
That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like go to a different school every year until you find the right combo, and then try and win.
Well, if you listen to what, yeah, and that I think I'm not sure about the whole thing. You heard Quinn went in also. Now I definitely have to look. All right.
Yeah, I was pretty surprised, man. Really.
TCU favorite to land Hudson Card. It's not official, I don't think.
Well, my guy down at this store told me that. No, I'm just playing.
Hold on, it may not be over with yet. I'm looking. Yeah, it's not. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it as like finished off news. I wouldn't be surprised though. Well, and the reason it sounds like it could happen. Here's the deal. I thought Lane Kiffin said it right. He was saying that he doesn't know why Bryce Young wouldn't go into the portal every year just to see what kind of deal he could get. Once you won the Heisman and done all that. Now, I think that was just a way to kind of say, hey, we need to get some control of this thing. You know, you should not be able to, and it's supposed to be just a one-time transfer, a free transfer where you don't have to sit out once.
Stogner's coming back for the second time. I mean, that's two different schools.
Well, if he's coming back, I don't know. That was another thing we were going to talk about. Is he going to come back to Oklahoma? He's saying he wants to get back into the DFW area, but
what's that?
I don't know. It said he said he was saying that possibly he would be going. You know, they're saying it's a possibility. I think. I don't know. He didn't really do well at South Carolina, and they're fine.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
He heard it from somebody else. That's what. And there's, I even Cord said he heard that also, but I haven't seen that on the official news. And I'm on the Statesman doesn't say it. I definitely want to know too. Let's see. I'm not seeing that though. He hasn't said that he is, and he's definitely playing in the bowl game. So it's not showing that he's going there for sure. So I don't know. We'll see. Uh-oh, I just lost him again. That's okay. No worries. No worries. He'll be back. All right. So again, so nobody's gonna give me a ranking system here for the Pac-12 coaches. Who you think's best? I was hoping somebody's gonna throw old Lincoln down around 4 or 5. Yeah, I don't know if he. I don't think. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did, just to see, because I mean he got paid a lot to go to Texas, but maybe they're not going to pay him as much because they've got, you know, Manny coming in. I don't know. I wouldn't be that surprised if he did, but I know he's definitely going to be playing in the Alamo Bowl, and they're talking about that. Not only him, but also Sark has a lot to do, has a lot to prove. I still believe that anyway. You know, yeah, no, it isn't. All right, so give me number 2, 3, 4, and 5. You're gonna say Lincoln Riley over Kyle Whittingham, are we? Is that what you're gonna say, Lone Star? Christian, go ahead. You sorry dog. I knew that's where you were coming. Well, I know who wouldn't be in the top 5 if he was still there, and that's Sark. So just so there you go. All right, we'll move out of that. All right, so next on the list, let's see. Hey, Baker Mayfield going to the Rams. It's a terrible time for him to be going to the Rams, but he is. Also wanted to say congratulations to Roy Williams for being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame this evening. That's awesome for him. I'm excited for him, a lot. He deserves it. If you think about iconic plays in the history of the game, since I've been alive anyway, the first one I think about in the Red River is Roy Williams. Every time. It's the first one. So I really feel like, I'm excited for him, man. It's a shame that he's probably not going to get that in the NFL, because he was good, but I don't think he sustained it as long as they probably would have wanted him to. Plus, he played for the Cowboys, man. I mean, what are you going to do? They just weren't that good at that time when he was there. So, and they still kind of aren't. He's saying it was Cristobal before he dipped. Maybe, yeah. I think Mario Cristobal was a good coach. I definitely do. I think that he's got a ways to go with Miami, though. I think that they're a lot different than what. Now, he's won everywhere he's been. I'll give him that. I mean, he was at Memphis, Virginia Tech, and he was at places before that he was winning that were not good. So I think that Mario definitely does a great job. But the number one coach in the Pac-12, make no mistake about it, is Kyle Whittingham. Period. It starts and ends there with number one. If you want to put Lincoln in the top 3, fine. Fine. You can. You could probably make an argument for it, just because of the fact that, but Shaw's gone now. He's gone. So he resigned his position right after the season was over. I don't know where he's going to end up. But who can recruit well? Cristobal? Yes. Lincoln? Not really. He's number 14 right now at USC. He never was higher than 7th at Oklahoma. He does good with the transfer portal, though. So, no, not going to get that one by me there, Christian. If you're talking about Cristobal, yes, he recruits well. He does a good job. That's not all there is to it, though. Anyways, and even getting all those transfer portal guys, look at what that got Lincoln the other day. Bitch slapped. That's really what happened. Dan Lanning, number 4. Yeah, I would probably put him. I think that's okay for now, just because this is his first season, and I think that he comes from the right. I think that you got to assume that he's a damn good coach. I mean, notwithstanding the Georgia game, but I mean, he didn't have the team to play against Georgia, but they looked really good aside from losing that game. Obviously, losing that game to to Washington. And it was a good game, but they lost. And then to lose that, he did not look good losing to Oregon State, though, when you have, was it a 34-17 lead or 34-10 lead or something like that? 30-10 something. They should not have lost that game, and they pretty much got embarrassed at that point. So, yeah, I feel like Lanning's probably number 4. If we're talking, those guys, let's see. I would have to say DeBoer, also from Washington, is right up there in the top 3 or 4 also. And the coach obviously the coach from Oregon State, to turn those guys around the way that they have. The only thing that I have to say about that, only thing that I have to say about the Pac-12 and where they are nationally is I still don't think that they're the deep. I don't think that they have the depth of coaches or even teams that a lot of people gave them credit for this year, because the only times that they really played out of the Pac-12 that they were playing really good teams, and I agree with this, James, Chip Kelly a lot more than, I think he did a good job too. And I mean, he lost by 2 in a shootout, and again, we talked about this before. Oklahoma could have very easily lost 5 or 6 games last year. Very easily. They were in 7 or 6 one-score games, and then the Kansas game ended up at 12 points. But it was pretty much over with until Caleb pulled that ball back out and somehow got that first down, because they weren't going to get it. They were going to be able to run out the clock, and then, it ended up a 12-point win. I'm telling you, that was a loss. They were losing going into the fourth quarter. But again, when you have a coach like that, any of these mediocre teams and even bad teams are gonna play with you. But mediocre teams are one thing to win against. But when you get up against a real team that's a bunch of dogs like Utah was, there's no way you're gonna do anything against them. And that was proven. To do it one time and in your house is one thing, but then to go on a neutral field and not just win, to beat your ass all night. That's what they did. So to me, Whittingham is definitely number 1. I would say number 2, so probably, I would want to say, Sam, of course, he won a lot of those games. He definitely won the Texas game, no doubt. And even but look at the West Virginia game. They could have very easily lost that one. It was 17-15, and that was at the Palace. And somehow you come out and you win that one. And then you've got oh, come on. Yeah, right. You're not going there. You can fight with hey, y'all get on the Lone Star. That's Christian, who was on the show the other night, man. Y'all get his ass. He's over here talking all that trash from the comment section. He won't say it when he's on the show. And I'll put you on the show if you want to come on. But yeah, these I tell you, it's kind of, they very easily could have been 5 or 6 losses a year ago. But you have a guy that was, I mean, he's going to win the Heisman this year more than likely, him or Duggan. And if he doesn't, I'd be surprised if it's not him, because he had a hell of a season. And even though they lost that last game, for the rest of the season, I mean, they won games that they should have. Now, what I will say, when you didn't have to play Oregon or Washington, though, they caught a break this year, because that 11-2 could have very easily been 3 or 4 losses. Hell, they had close one at Oregon State, almost lost that one. I mean, the UCLA game was a 2-point win, 48-46, I think, or 3, something like that. But anyway, yeah. So I feel like that's definitely. Does anybody think the Big 12 refs are terrible? Yeah, I think they do. I think that's been established a lot lately. There's a lot of questions about whether I mean, there's a lot of people out there talking about it. As a matter of fact, the guy that was just on here a little while ago, that the Outlaw College Football, he was talking about that Texas and Oklahoma should sue the Big 12 so that they can get out of here quicker. And I didn't I didn't get into that whole video with them, but I've seen a lot about it, and actually, people have even commented on some of my videos about that with Lincoln and all that stuff, and with the ones about Lincoln and then the officiating. So there's some people out there that have been talking about it. And listen, there was 2 holding calls the entire season against somebody that played Texas. I don't know if that's true. I would love to. I mean, I want to see that. Is that really true? Christian, is that really true? I don't know. But it seems like okay, I will say this, the Texas Tech game, and they first part of the game, and it was, I think it was Marvin, or no, it was Theo Weiss. He got interfered with in the end zone, and they didn't call it, and it looked like they called it, but then they picked the flag up. They said there was no call for pass interference. The guy interfered with him. It was clear. And only one against OU? What? So there was 2 against somebody that playing Texas and only 1 against Oklahoma, somebody that was playing Oklahoma this whole time? Holding call? Yeah, I want to see this. Show me that. Okay. Well, I can tell you, I mean, look, when they picked up that flag in that game against Tech, I was like, what? And then the question I got, and I know something that Parker he didn't back this up. He was saying from everything he could see in the stadium that it wasn't I saw this on 247. He was saying that it wasn't a good kick, right? The last kick there. My question is how come every NFL game I've seen since all this replay stuff started, they have a freaking camera on the goalposts to be able to tell whether that went through or not? Why do you not have that in a major conference in the college football? I'm not saying, I'm not a conspiracy theory person. I'm just not. But that doesn't even sound like a theory. If this is real, where you can prove that it's 1 call against Oklahoma and 2 against Texas, or that went against their opponents, I don't know. I hate to believe that's real, but I can't say that I don't believe it. I can't say that I don't believe it. Tell me, guys, what you think. What do you guys think about that? Tell me, Jimmy. You're asking if I think the Big 12 refs are terrible. Tell me what you think. James, give me what you think too. Where's everybody else? There's 23 people in here. I only got 1 person asking, or only two people, 3, and now 3 with the guy coming in here to bust chops. What do you guys think though? No, is there bad officiating going on? Do you think it's really against Texas and Oklahoma because they're leaving to the SEC? If that's the case, then the Outlaw may have something to say about it. He definitely may. And I mean, as far as, I don't know about lawsuits and shit, but if you started one up, you could probably definitely weasel your way out to the SEC a little sooner. And if they are screwing you over, if they're screwing these guys over, why would you want to stay? And it's made them happy the last 2 years that neither team, Oklahoma hasn't been back to the Big 12 championship game since then. Texas hasn't been, and Texas was looking like they were probably the best team, the second best team in the Big 12 this season, as far as talent was concerned. I also believe that, and I've said this plenty of times to Christian on the air, that I don't think that Sark is the guy for that job. I understand why they're not going to fire him right now. I think it's surprising that they're not, but I think that he should definitely get his 3 or 4 years, before you make that move. I think he is what he is. He's a 500 coach. He always has been. That's what he is. That's just me. As far as Heisman finalists, I saw you were talking on your show there, Christian, about Bijan being left off the finalists list. What did you guys think about the finalist list? Who is your Heisman Trophy winner? Is it Duggan? Is it Caleb Williams. That's my pick, obviously. And then you have actually Stetson Bennett is the other finalist. I believe just 3 finalists, maybe one more. Let me see. I had it up here a second ago too. I believe that it is. Yeah, they're just showing. Oh no, All-American team also. Caleb Williams, the first team All-American, along with Blake Corum at running back. Bijan did get the first team All-American bid, which I thought was good. Marvin Harrison from Ohio State. Jaleel Hyatt from Tennessee, the other one. Michael Mayer from Notre Dame. It'd be the tight end. And then you've got the linemen are one from Ohio State, DeJuan Jones, Joe Alt from Notre Dame, Osiris Torrance from Florida, Peter Skoronski, and John Michael Schmitz from Minnesota, and then Skoronski's from Northwestern. Huh. And then on first team defense, Kalijah Cansey Jr. from Pittsburgh. You also have Jalen Carter from Georgia, Tuli Pelotu from USC. He had 12 and a half sacks. Wow, I didn't realize that would even possible in an Alex Grinch defense. First team linebackers, Will Anderson from Alabama. No surprise there. Ivan Pace Jr. from Cincinnati and Jack Campbell from Iowa. They definitely could play some defense at Iowa. They just suck on offense. First team corners are Clark Phillips III, sophomore out of Utah. That guy's a baller. Devon Witherspoon, the junior from Illinois. He was the Big Ten Defensive Back of the Year also. Also, Kayvon Merriweather, first team safety from Iowa. Cameron Kinchins from Miami. And then Brian Branch from Alabama as well. Let's see. Yeah. So Hendon Hooker ended up the second team quarterback, along with, I guess they were tied, him and CJ Stroud. I didn't know they did that. Huh. Okay. Well, does the Big 12 have bad officiating? Yes, it. Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah. It kind of has been. And I would agree with you on that. That it's been the standard is no calls. Yeah, that's true. It was weird to me though when they picked that one up. It's weird, and that's a weird number, man. James, think about that. In a game of 12 games, in college no less, I would. Is it possible that you only had 2 holdings on all the offenses you played at Texas? 2 and 1. I don't really remember. I mean, I guess it's 1 sounds okay as far as Oklahoma's concerned because I don't remember it happening. There was a lot of mistakes that Oklahoma made. Just doesn't seem like there was a ton of calls going against the other team, though. I know that would make a lot of people happy to be able to use that excuse, though, huh? Oh, man. I'll tell you. And of course, Oklahoma can't make that excuse, and neither can Texas. They damn sure should have won more football games than they probably did, you know? And the thing about it is when you lose 4 one-score games this season, it's probably kind of overcorrection from last season. Should have probably lost at least 3 or 4 of those games that they won. You know they should have lost the Texas game. They're down freaking 28-7. It wasn't close, you know? So they should have lost that one. They should have. I mean, they very easily could have lost that game against Kansas, Kansas State too. I mean, they were a bunch of close one-score games. You know, of course they did, and then they lost the one to Baylor. I mean, that didn't look good either. I mean, there was times that they definitely could have got their buck. Now they could have won against Oklahoma State too. I will never not be convinced that wasn't thrown. Never be convinced of that it wasn't. Because if Tebow does that, if he wins, then they've got another game next week, and that screws with his ability to recruit and pilfer through that transfer portal. He was wanting out. I feel like he ran the same freaking play. I know 5 times in a row on that last drive. It was the same damn play, same movement, same everything, same dudes chasing his ass around, like running for his dear life, and he still almost scored. I think Riley tried to throw it, and he still almost scored on that shit. Oh man, that's too funny. All right, uh, yeah. So has everybody been voting in my poll here? That's here. Have we gotten any votes in the poll? I'm gonna go and check it out. I wanted to go and show you this real quick. I'm gonna present the screen here. Tell you what, I'm gonna go to a quick commercial. I'll be right back, and we'll have that little video for you. Hey folks, Jason Watkins, Hall of Fame College Football Podcast. Just wanted to remind you that if you want to support the show, we have a fabulous way for you to do so and save money at the same time. All you have to do is the next time you decide you need a new hat, jersey, piece of memorabilia from your favorite team, just go onto our link and save up to 65%. It's bit.ly/HOF-fanatics. That's bit.ly/HOF-fanatics. Save up to 65% off everything you buy, and we get a small commission for everything you purchase. It's a win-win. I thought y'all might like that. Tell me what you think about that. You couldn't hear that? Oh no. All right, so I'm gonna drop that link in there for you guys. I don't know why you couldn't hear it. Let me see. Tell you what, I'll redo it real quick. Let me go back because you gotta kind of see this part. Tell you, let me go to. I know how it'll do it. That's so weird that it's not playing it though without me. Here we go. All right. No babies were made to cry by me to make that video. I promise. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. 5 to 8. What are you talking about? 5 to 8 for Lincoln, James? Nice. Nicely done. Nicely done. I like it. I I'm saying probably I think he's top 5 myself, you know. That's just me. But anyway. So let's see where we're at. All right, so we've been going at about an hour. Folks, again, if you are enjoying the content, please make sure you hit that subscriber button on your before you leave. Hit the like button too. That's free. You can go ahead and tip anytime you feel like it to help support the show, help us pay these bills, man. I appreciate it. Work really hard to bring you guys as many shows as we can throughout the week. Definitely go to the partner store at our partner store with Fanatics. I mean, you get great deals up to 65% off every time. And right now, with all the holidays, I've seen a lot of stuff that's a lot cheaper than you would normally see it. I mean, I've been buying a bunch of stuff myself, so it's kind of crazy, but I'm enjoying that discount for sure. Obviously, the other thing to talk about a little bit more, we were just going to go through a few of these things. Myself, I was thinking that, let's see, I had, uh, what are your thoughts on, obviously, who thinks that Stogner's going to be back? I mean, it seems a little weird. It seems like he left because he was mad at somebody. I don't know if it was Lincoln or what. Um, but he was going to be the starter this year, wasn't he? I mean, Braden wasn't really the starter last year, so, and I think it was great. Braden had a great year. I don't have any problems with Braden Willis at all. In fact, and I know the NFL loves him. They love him. They feel like he's going to be one of the next big time players at that position in the league, pretty much throughout the league. He's definitely highly sought after. I don't know that he'll go first round. I think he's probably early second. From everything that I'm seeing, and possibly even you could see him. But a lot of these guys are kind of, tight ends. They kind of expect to develop them in certain places. I feel like he's definitely one of the good ones, though. I think that he's going to do a great job. But Stogner, I mean, he had a great season the last season before he left. I think he was he was definitely one of Spencer's favorite targets while he was playing. But it didn't seem to be this year. And in fact, I don't even think that Stogner was on the field a ton, because they had another tight end but he went into the portal too, which is weird because he had a great season. What was that kid's name? I was looking through that on there. He's one of the top portal targets in the country. So yeah, you like that? Big 12 has the best rest, Logan? Really? No, you didn't say that crap. Nice background. You like that? I figured you would like that. Horns down all day. Did everybody notice that? And nobody's even said anything about it. I love it. I love it. But yeah, so like I said, if you want to make sure to get on to our partner store, it's bit.ly/HOF-fanatics. There should be a dash in between there. I'm going to take that off of there now. Fanatics. I'll put that in the chat as well before this is over. It's HOF-fanatics on the partner store. Don't forget that if you need to buy some last minute shopping gifts, memorabilia, whatever it is, up to 65% off everything in the store. They're doing a lot of flash sales each day. So something I would do is go in and kind of check out some of those all the way through. With Stogner going, I kind of wondered, hey, where's Logan? Did you hear anything about Did you hear anything? Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you saw it. That means the Christian saw it earlier when he was here as well. Good. So did you see anything about Quinn Ewers possibly going to be going into the portal? Because that was what Jager said he saw. And then my buddy Cord said that he had heard that earlier today too. So I know that there must be some smoke coming out of Austin on that one. I don't think it's time to do that. If you're Texas, because what if What if Manning is not ready to be the starter as a freshman? I think it's a terrible idea. Terrible idea if they do that. Um, Apparently he is playing in the Alamo Bowl, so maybe he doesn't go into the portal till after that. But something tells me I could see it happening, though. I could definitely see it happening. Heck, if you're JT Daniels, he's been in the portal what 3 times now. SC, then Georgia, then now he's at West Virginia. He's going back in 1 year. You know, I don't expect it to happen really either. I can't imagine that they would be that stupid. But then again, look, I mean, it is Texas. I mean, they've been known to be silly and stuff. So I don't know. It would be silly though, really stupid. But then again, they didn't give Bijan the ball enough, and Christian's bitching about them not being. Yeah, yeah. Daniels, yeah. Well, he's been in the portal every year since they started this one time. You can get in it one time for free kind of deal. He's been it, but it's not one time because he's doing it every year. And I saw that earlier today. It was the guy from CBS Sports was talking about it. That the rule is supposed to be one time without having to sit, but all these guys are getting into it a lot more than that. So it's weird to me that that's supposedly the case. From what I understand, apparently Dylan Gabriel has, just so everybody knows, Dylan Gabriel has uh, reiterated that he's coming back, or he's indicated that he's coming back next season. I am glad to hear that myself. I know a lot of people are, you know, a little upset about some of the way that he played this year. I think that's silly too. But that, look, I think that Jackson Arnold he's a 5-star plus guy. They finally gave him that 5th star with on 3. Should have done that a while back, I would think. But I also feel like expecting a true freshman to come in and perform and be the starter right off the bat, if he doesn't come in and just take it and you have to give it to him before you even plays a game or does anything, you know, I feel like yeah, he's definitely got some nice ink. Oh, yeah, that is 5-star. Um, yeah, that's 5-star ink for sure. I agree, but look, I feel like for sure, first and foremost, they were a top 20 offense, so I'm glad that he's coming back. Now, if Jackson was able to come in and he just wins the job from him, okay, I can see it. That's fine. And if they're gonna go through, let's say next season isn't a 10-win or 11-win season and you're looking at 7, 8, 9 wins, would you maybe want to get Jackson Arnold some time? Probably. If you're like, say you're in a position at the end of the season where he needs to um uh well, you want to get him some time because you're not necessarily you're not in the running for the conference championship anymore. Now, I think everybody would hope that they're going to be in the running for getting in that game next season. But if he could come in and win the thing or not, really, that's not the only reason why. They averaged 36 points a game, and it wasn't all coming from Eric Gray. But I agree that he was a big part of that offense. A big part of that offense. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. Uh, I agree that Eric Gray is a big part of that, though, and it's sucky that he's going, but I mean, you can't blame him. He's going to go to the league and he's going to get paid now, and he deserved it. He was a great back as a junior. He had one more year if he wanted to, but when your stock is already as high as it's probably going to be, you kind of had to go, you know. Yeah, I think that he does too. I look, and that's what I think. I think the competition never hurts anybody. Competition never hurts anybody. So when it comes to that, I love seeing that he's going to do that. At the running back position, I feel like I mean, look, there was for being Devontae looked great, right? Um, Devontae Barnes, Barnes. For him to come in and play the way that he played at times during the season, you can see that he's ready to be a feature back as well. I think it's going to be it's a good, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I would hope that there's some blowout games. I hope so. That'd be nice. That'd be nice. Yeah, we're gonna see. We're gonna see. And I feel like the running back room is very good. They've got guys from JUCO on, and there's a bunch of guys out there in the portal too that could work. I know that they're gonna probably need to go find some help in the portal. Either that or they got to get. Uh, they're gonna have to get some of these kids from the high school ranks, but at the high school ranks, you're not really expecting those guys. Yeah, Sawchuk. Yo, me too, man. He's gonna be fun. He's gonna be fun. I think it would have been nice to been able to see him play a little bit this year. But I was impressed with Barnes for a lot of the season, Bobby, myself. And I don't think that running back is definitely. I think like Eric said, I think we're in great shape when it comes to the running back room. That's a good place for Oklahoma. You also, I think that Stogner coming back could be definitely, it would bolster that room for the tight ends. You would definitely, I think that it could be a good thing there. If that indeed is going to happen, I don't know that I'm convinced about that necessarily. I think that, I just don't know that I believe that yet. We'll have to wait and see on it. But I think that they're definitely, obviously you're looking for linebacker help and defensive line help. I think it'd be important. Sacha in the Wildcat, yeah, man, that's a good idea. I like it. I just hope that they don't have to run the Wildcat all the time at some point next year. No, I think they're going to be good in the quarterback room next year as well. I was disappointed to see Nick Evers going into the portal. And I think that there's one of the places that I feel like they could have done a better job this season was there. Give him a shot. I mean, what did you have to lose in the Texas game? You had nothing to lose there. Why isn't he playing in that one? I feel like he should have. And I mean, I know everything that I've seen and watched from what he did. The ball came out of Nick's hands. The guy can throw. I know that they were concerned about his body size and maybe him needing to put on some weight. I got to tell you, man, his high school tape looked amazing, and you could even tell in warmups and stuff the way he threw. It just comes off his hand different. I think the guy was the real deal. Maybe they were going to let him. I would have liked to have seen him hang around and see if he could compete next year, for it. So, Indiana kid, crystal ball for the linebacker. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that earlier today. They also they're talking about obviously Dave McCullough, the safety he's from right around Notre Dame. His dad is a coach at Notre Dame, but apparently it almost seems like he might be a lock. Apparently Brandon Hall was there to visit with him today and with him and his mother this morning. And then Jai Valai Jay Valai and his dad coached together at Kansas City, so they're real tight, I guess. So it almost looked like it's really close. I know they hadn't crystal balled it yet, but it seemed like he was interested. He was committed to Cincinnati. And of course with the coaching change, he's now looking at his options again. I don't think that he was really looking at Wisconsin necessarily. So it seems like that's going to happen. Mason Cobb earlier. Yeah, I think he's going to go back to Utah. I was looking through that. I hadn't seen much on him about him coming to Oklahoma so much, or nothing that was conclusive that I thought that was going to happen. Who commits next? Weston. It seems like to me, it feels like Peyton Bowens is about to make that move. I mean, I'm gonna have obviously we've got Peyton Manning, our insider, coming in on Thursday for our live on Thursday evening, 7:30. It'd be 8:30 Central Time. So we'll have Peyton in to talk about that on Thursday. I mean, he's got a lot of information. That guy has actually, he's called a lot of these right, man. This kid knows his stuff. I love Peyton. I love having him on the show. I think it's going to be a good deal for that. And his brother, the safety too. Really? The guy from Indiana? Huh. Nice. All good. Don't worry about it. That's yeah, I got it, man. No worries. Yeah, I think Bowens is. I think he's about as close as they get. I know that they had an in home over the weekend, and it seems like I guess Coach Venables is going to go in here. Um, they crystal balled him. They hadn't before I came on the air, so that's good. I'm glad to see that. Okay, cool. I think yeah, and I know that whenever they start talking, when you had who was it that was saying it earlier? That's good. That's good. Yeah, it seemed like it was pretty much a lock. I mean, they all but called it a lock earlier today when I was looking through all that stuff as well. So it seemed like a good deal there. Again, let's I would want to congratulate again Roy Williams for being inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame tonight in Las Vegas. Well deserved. Real Superman of Oklahoma, Roy Williams. Um, also, let's see. Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier about what's up with Okie Light, folks. What's up with Okie Light that they're losing all these guys? 11 players went to the portal, including Spencer Sanders and Trace Ford, arguably their two best players, uh, one on offense, one on defense. They're both gone, and apparently Trace Ford's been saying a lot of stuff about what's going on in that program and that they're not happy. And obviously 11 guys, and they're all significant playing time guys. What's up with Okie Light? Where are my Okie Light fans that usually come in trolling? Where are they at? Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, we were talking about Stogner just a little while ago, Eric. A biscuit away from a linebacker. Who's that? Who are we talking about? What do you I love that saying though, a biscuit away from being a linebacker. I love it. Um what's up with that with Okie Light? And I was saying earlier too, and I know I kind of got interrupted there. But it's funny to me that after that whole Texas game, when they came back, and I mean, Texas let them come back and win. They should have blown them out of their own freaking building if they'd have just kept giving the ball to Bijan. They come back, and you think Spencer's going to Nebraska. Yeah, I've been hearing some stuff about that too, that he might be. Yeah, I know Matt Rule was close to getting him before. He was. Yeah, Roy. Yes, Roy Williams. Congratulations to Roy Williams. Yeah, the biscuit away from. Yeah, he is. That's what it was. He was a biscuit away from a linebacker. I love that saying. Yeah. Hey, he was the man though, dude. Superman. Superman. But all that talk that they were doing at that whole week, they had two press conferences that week headed into the K-State game, and they get beat 48-0, right? Mind you, the entire week they were talking about the culture that he's built and maintained. And he's talking, well, yeah, really only thing I have to do these days is, I just decide if we're going to go for it on fourth down or not. I just got it. We got it hooked up that way, and then after the freaking TCU game they lose and he's, well, I think it's because of rushing, dude, you were up 24-7 with 9 minutes to go in the freaking second quarter. It was your rushing game. Get out of here, dude. That guy's the biggest freaking con artist. We talk about con artists, man. That's the biggest con artist in freaking college football. He's got a 5-year perpetual deal. It renews every year. Every year. How the hell did he manage that? The guy's never won anything of significance. Nothing. Wow. Let's just give him a renewable 5-year deal. Every year you can have it back. They'd have ran his ass off 12 years ago he's been there 18 years. There's no way he'd have made it 6 years in Oklahoma like that. No way. What do we got? Yeah. 6-1 to finish 7-5. Yeah. Yeah. Got beat by both Kansas schools. Got beat by, they lost to they just lost to West Virginia last game, right? Yeah. The dude, again, every year it's the same. Anytime that they're supposed to win, they don't. They get that win against Oklahoma last season, and then they go in there and cough up the ball, four turnovers from Spencer Sanders, which stop giving him opportunities to throw those, and then they're talking about losing the game by 6 inches. Well, kind of, but maybe you shouldn't have. Maybe you shouldn't have been. Yes, see, yeah, right. No, and they just keep renewing that shit contract of theirs. Why? Why? I can't even understand it. What did he do? What did he do for that old man before he died? I don't understand it. I don't know. It's something, man. Because the dude, you don't have to win nothing. He would have been fired by year 4 or 5, no doubt about it, if he was at Oklahoma. He said, I'd probably be the coach at Oklahoma. When he said that the week of the Bedlam game, I laughed. I was like, bro, you'd never cut it. Your brother couldn't even get it, and he was a quarterback at OU. Get out of here. Shut up. Baker to the Rams today. Congratulations to him as well. It's kind of a bad situation for Baker to be in on the Rams. They need quarterback help, and they're kind of thin everywhere else. They've been kind of a dumpster fire. And it's kind of crappy that it's going to be that way. What are we talking about here? What is that about? All-world quarterback, explosive. Oh, wait, what? Who did? Who are you talking about, Jager? In any event, I think it's a tough deal for Baker a little bit. I think that he could definitely benefit by working with Sean McVay. Oh yeah, he's been having a squad, but he never recruits that great. But yeah, he's had teams. They never win. They never win when they need to. They're not mentally tough at all. Never mentally tough at all. I agree 100%. 100%. I don't know about the all-world quarterback part because Spencer ain't no all-world quarterback. So yeah, Nebraska for him, man. Maybe that's a good place for him, though. I could see that. Matt Rule. I think that he was recruited pretty heavily by Matt out of high school as well, and I think he was pretty close to going before Matt took the Carolina job. But I don't know. I'm not positive about that. I know he was one of the guys that they recruited pretty heavy, but I don't know. I think Baylor, talking about quarterbacks and stuff and guys in the portal. I said this on the show the other day with Logan and Christian, is I think that Baylor, if they're not doing everything they can to get Hudson Card, they're nuts because they don't have a quarterback. Shapen wasn't it. Shapen's not it, but I'd be surprised. Seems like he should take that. He should get that one, but I don't know that they're even. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything significant on it. Anyway, folks, let's see. What we say? Oh yeah, Mason Rudolph. Yeah. Oh well. Oh, you're talking about Brandon Whedon. Whedon was good. He was actually decent in the pros too. He just played for a bad team, 2 bad teams really. He didn't get a really good. And the same. Well, no, yeah. Mason Rudolph was. He was a good college. He was a good college quarterback. I'll give him that. He wasn't good enough. He was never beating Oklahoma either. But 10 or more players in the portal. You say that, and I agree with you to some extent. But the thing is that they're so deep, and look right now, and it's kind of what the thing is about what we were talking about and what Lane Kiffin was saying the other day is that especially if you're a guy that look at Young, Bryce Young goes and wins the Heisman last year. What he was saying is I'd be in the portal every year because they let you. You can renegotiate. It's basically a way to renegotiate your NIL deal every year to get more money. And look at JT Daniels. He's doing it, and they weren't even that good. They really weren't that good. But for them to, you get a chance to really go in there and, yeah, how the hell was he Mr. Football in Texas? I don't get that at all. He was, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. That was pretty much it. I know that did they finally cut him in Pittsburgh this year? I hadn't looked and see. I should ask my friend Tracy. She would know. But I'm not sure. She's a big Steeler fan, and my mom's a Steeler fan. I'm not, but whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Mason Rudolph, he definitely hasn't, and he had an opportunity. He got the whole season when Big Ben was hurt, 2 years ago or whatever, that same year, whenever, and then he got pulled even. No, he was still there at the start of the season. I know because they were talking about it that he was claiming that he was the starter when they first brought in uh Mitch Trubisky. It got out that he was claiming that he was going to be the starter, and I don't know where he claimed it or what, but it was proven that he said it. And then he was kind of backtracking on it or whatever. But I know he was there at the start of the season. I don't know if they probably did cut him after that because he wasn't going to win the job. And then they liked Kenny Pickett also. And the thing that happens is when you're a backup, once you've hit that, and this is the problem that Baker's about to find if he doesn't get it figured out, is that backups are expensive. So they would almost rather try a kid out that they like. They're not positive. It's like a project quarterback. They'd rather do that than pay somebody, especially if you were slotted first round whenever your first go around. Man, it can be expensive because the going price for a backup quarterback is $5-6 million. Maybe even higher than that now. But I know that was the case, over the last few years. So and that's why Landry Jones didn't really have a place in the league anymore after his rookie deal was up. He never really got a real shot. He'd get a game here, a game there, and I mean, probably could have played a little better. Landry's a friend of ours. He's from the same town as I'm from. So, I love Landry to death, but I didn't feel like he got, and this is kind of what happens sometimes in the NFL is your window's really close. You know what I mean? There's been a lot. Think about all the guys that bust out or they call them busts or whatever. The truth of it is you just don't get a lot of a chance. And if you haven't figured something out by the time that first one's over with, and you have to, they have to pay you real money now. So Mason's probably at the end of his contract though now, right? That would be about right, Bobby. Yeah, so he's third string. But so that tells you right now he's probably not going to have much more time in the league either, because you saw the way Landry, they gave him another shot with the XFL. And he was looking good until he got hurt. He was considered to be probably the best player that the XFL had. And I know that that last year after he left Pittsburgh, I feel like, I know John Gruden was saying that they would have loved to have kept him. They didn't have the cap space for it, and he wasn't going to win the job with the Raiders. That was their last year in Oakland. And it's just, that's what kind of happens. Your window is really small, and so it didn't work out for Landry. And I have a feeling that could be what's about to happen with Baker, and that's what I think is what Boomercast. Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing, and here I'm going to tell you what I feel about Baker. I think that he's definitely done himself a disservice. I think last year playing hurt was bad for him. It was not a good idea. It wasn't a good decision on his part. And I'm not saying that doesn't make, in my mind, it makes him a gamer. And I know that any of you Baker Mayfield fans, you probably feel the same way. Yeah, he was a gamer. He came and balled out, even though he was hurt. But what happened is it ended up making him look, yeah, I think you're right, Bobby. It ended up making him look worse. It was easier for Cleveland to justify kicking him down the road to another dumpster fire at Carolina. I mean, before they got rid of Rule, and then they send Christian McCaffrey to the Niners. They've already kicked that season down the road. I mean, it wasn't even halfway down the season, and he didn't play good. And listen, he's not ranking well, but how are you gonna? If it's bad position that he was in from the start. I think from right at the day one, it was. I mean, Cleveland is where your career goes to die. And yeah, I hate to even see that though. I hate to see that, Jimmy. Come on, man, don't hurt me. No, I agree. Listen, I don't know. I think it's close. I don't think he's far off of the end of his career at this point. And I hate to say it, man. I am a Baker believer. I believe in the guy. I think that, call me an apologist, call me crazy, That's fine. I know that winners are winners, right? But there's only so much that you can do when you play for the Browns and you play for that Carolina team. And honestly, is this a very good look for him with the Rams? You know, they were down to a third string receiver to start on Thursday, and they pulled the trigger on the waiver deal. So they got to pick up the rest of his salary, $1 million. If he wins a few games, fine. You know, the hope that you would have is can he show something to Sean McVay? Because if you get a good opportunity with McVay, say next year, Matt Stafford, I mean, I don't think he's done yet. And I mean, if you're the Rams, you hope not because they paid him a shit ton of money. But you know, he's not going to come back until he's healthy. No way. So to me, you know, he hurt his own popularity. You think? Yeah, he shouldn't have played though. That was the thing. He was trying to do the right thing, and he, you know, by being a gamer and all that when he was hurt from game 2 on, man. And it just got worse. They got him beat to death too. You know, so and when you do that to yourself and you go in when he could have sat out and just said, "Hey, I'm going to wait it out." Does it end up the same way? Probably because they wanted Deshaun Watson no matter what. They did. But he definitely shouldn't have put himself through that. And then to go and you do, yeah. I think if anything, yeah, take a small deal, do what you got to do, and hang out. If McVay likes him, I think that's a possibility, Jimmy. I think it is. But I think that he's definitely got to work some things out, man, and he's gonna have to show something to Sean McVay for Sean to want to keep him around. You know, and I don't know that he can. He just doesn't seem like he's that healthy this season, and they're not healthy. You know, they are not healthy. Yeah. Has had NFL talent. He lost the ability to block the noise out, and it cost him quite a bit. I can't argue with the take. I mean, I don't know that I agree so much, but I'm not going to argue it because I know that he definitely didn't perform this season. And you can probably write off last season because of the injury and everything that was going on. But he was supposedly healthy when he got to Carolina, or at least he said he was. If he wasn't, he can't say that he wasn't now because he said he was earlier. So it hurts, but I listen. I can't argue it. I can't argue that. I think that he has not played up to the level that he played at 2 years ago, for sure, or even the first 3 years. I mean, he did throw. I saw JP said earlier today that he reminded everybody that he still threw for 20 touchdowns per season for 3 seasons. Not that that's the most these days. That's going to put you in the top half. But that's really all it's been. I mean, he's 90 touchdowns to like 60 something interceptions. I mean, it's not great. It's not great. And I do love Baker, but he's going to have to look considerably better than that for them to want to keep him on after whatever ends up with the last few games of this season, or the last third of the season, whatever it is. But I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. If you haven't voted in the poll there, please do. I'd like to. I was actually going to check in on that real quick and see what everybody thought, because I can't see it from the one spot here, so I was going to look in the other. Community. Oh, it's not on that part. Damn. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Yeah, I'm still not even seeing it there. Well, it should be up at the top here. Okay, so we've had a total of 27 votes. Not bad. All right, yeah, everybody's picking Coach Prime to go somewhere between 5 and 8 games. Not bad. Okay. Hey, that's a big improvement. If you go from 1 win this season to 5 wins next year, that wouldn't be bad. I think 8 wins. I could see them winning 7 or 8. Just looking at their schedule yesterday, I kind of thought that they could probably at least do 7, maybe 8 if they could pull, possibly one of an upset of maybe you beat Washington, Oregon, Oregon State, one of those. If they could do that, then they look pretty good for it. I think that their out of conference schedule isn't terrible for them. And again, listen, the one thing about college football is when you have a quarterback like, and look at what happened. It was 4-8 for USC last season in the Pac-12, and they win 11 games. So if Shador is as good as he looks at the FCS level, which he's been fabulous both seasons, he's got one loss in 2 seasons. 36 touchdowns to 6 interceptions this season. They look like the real deal. So I could see them if they get the kind of players that it looks like they might through the portal and with their recruiting classes. I mean, I don't see them necessarily winning 11 games, but and nobody picked them to win 9 or 10 games. It doesn't look like. I can see that. What I would say is that are we going to bet the Hogs in basketball next game? Bet the Hogs. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it has to do with any of that. I think that he's shown that he can play at that level. He's had good seasons in the NFL. What he hasn't done is done very well last season when he was hurt. And I don't know that he was definitely healthy all the way when he went to Carolina, but he didn't go to a healthy team and they looked like shit. And he didn't, and it didn't help his look either. Now, is he done? I don't know. We'll see. I think that he may be running out of chances, but I don't know that I would believe that he doesn't have the ability to play. I don't know. 22% of the people said 1 to 4, and then we had 7% at 9. So the total, yeah. So we had a few people that thought they might win up to 9 games though, for Colorado. Did you vote in that, Jager? What'd you vote? Well, anyway, I really do feel like I could see them winning 7, 8, 9 games. I could see that happening. I think that it's going to be tough on defense. I think that they need to work at that. But listen, offensively, they could be pretty good. They could be really. I mean, they're going to get some good receivers. You already know that's going to happen. They're going to get skill players. And then with defense, with Travis Hunter, that guy is locked down. That nobody threw his way at the FCS level, and he was the number 1 recruit in the country. I think it was a good way for him to start off before he goes to Colorado. They haven't announced it official. He was talking about it on a live stream, watching Deion talking to that team on Sunday when he went in there and said, I'm coming. So hope you guys checked all that out. Guys, I am going to go ahead and call it for the evening. Don't forget, come check us out on Thursday night. I will have Peyton Manning, our recruiting insider, here 7:30 Eastern time. That would be 8:30 Central, or 9:30 Eastern time, 8:30 Central. We'll be in here with Peyton Manning. Possibly that we have a special guest as well on the recruiting trail. So don't forget to show up there. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. Talk to you on the next one.